I know, just as Emily has indicated, you've waited a little bit. So I'll straight away go to the speech of the director, and thereafter I'll be able to take a few questions from the audience. You'll forgive me because I didn't know exactly who is around. I only could be able to recall the convener, Madam Emily. So the Equity Foundation, the Equity Group Foundation convener, Madam Emily Gumba. If there are any senior government officials present, the chief principal, Pangani Girls, teachers, development partners, the 487 Wings to Fly alumni present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me pleasure and honor to address such a changing endeavor by the Equity Group Foundation. I must seize this early opportunity to congratulate the Equity Group for their effort in transforming not only the banking sector, this country, but also lives, touching lives of the Kenyan citizenry. The theme of this gathering, as was given to me, is the role of TVET in the government's Big Four agenda. This theme illustrates a great commitment in achieving Kenyans' Vision 2030, the Big Four agenda itself, and the Sustainable Development Goals through transforming Kenya into an industrialized, middle-income country with quality standards of living of its citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, there are three things that matter in life. And these are God, TVET, and history. I'll repeat. There are three things that matter in life. And these are God, Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to illustrate. Whatever your religious disposition, God is central. You may be a believer in God. You may be a Christian. You may be a Muslim. You may be a Buddhist or whatever. God is central. To add on that, you may also be an atheist. And that's why I want to give that example. To bring the point home that in everything, God is central. Neil Armstrong, the American astronaut who became the first man to land on the moon, was a sworn atheist. But when the spacecraft landed him on the moon, the first words he radioed back home on Earth were, "Oh my God." A sworn atheist. And an atheist is one who believes not in the existence of God. They believe that God does not exist. God is not there. Neil Armstrong was one of them. He didn't need any preacher. He didn't need any evangelist. He didn't need any Bible or anybody to tell him about God. But the journey from Earth to the moon made him realize that there is a God in this world. God is central. Whatever is called civilization is purely TVET at work. Look around. What are you sitting on? What are you wearing? What did you eat? Where are you seated? Look at the architecture of this hall. Look at how you look and everything you do. That is TVET at work. TVET is central. Without TVET, life will be meaningless. Ladies and gentlemen. And this TVET, as the director proceeds, is buttressed by the Word of God. Why do we say that? I want you, when you go back to your homes, pick your Bible and read Genesis 22, verse 13. In that verse, when Abraham was about to offer his son Isaac as a sacrifice, God saw his faith and stopped him. And the Bible says, when Abraham lifted up his eyes, he saw a ram held by its horns in the thicket. God did not tell him, go and pick it. It is the ingenuity of Abraham that made him know that God has provided a ram that will be offered instead of his son Isaac. What is that ingenuity? Ingenuity is simply TVET. Innovativeness. Being able to understand your environment and make good of your environment and make it work for you. There is no verse in the Bible that said God told Abraham, go and pick that ram and offer instead of your son. The thinking faculties of Abraham put him to that level. That is the situation we want you to come up to be able to seize the opportunities that your environment gives you to better yourself. And that's all TVET. Ladies and gentlemen, read again Exodus chapter 4, verse 2. Exodus chapter 4, verse 2. When Moses was debating with God, do I go to Egypt? Do I not? I'm not able and all that. How will they believe that you have sent me? What sign do you give me? In the thinking of Moses, he thought that God will tell him something else or tell him, go and do A, B, C, D. That was not the thing. In that particular verse, God asked Moses a simple question. What is that in your hand? And Moses answered, a rod. Ladies and gentlemen, the thing that would be able to make a great impact in your life is not far from you. You may discover it is just like Moses with you, and you already have it. You need to come to a point to discover what is this that God has placed in your hand to be able to change your destiny. You could be seated here and still wondering what you need to do with your future. But what is that God has placed in your hands? Is there every Kenyan youth in this hall? Are all the Kenyan youths here? It's only a select 487. If you are still doubting what God has placed in your hands, then you need to realize God, through the Equity Foundation, has placed this particular opportunity in your hand. And this is your time, therefore, to seize this opportunity to make better of this situation and change other lives, change your destiny, change your family, change your community, and thereby change this country. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I think now we can delve into the role TVET would play or is playing in the government's Big Four agenda. The government of Kenya views a strong technical and vocational education and training system as an enabler of the Big Four agenda, Vision 2030, and the realization of the Sustainable Development Goals. The world of work is currently experiencing very rapid and drastic changes due to rapid technological change. These drastic changes in technology and innovation have created the need to prepare both workers and trainees for the dual and lifelong learning. In addition to technical skills, trainees also need to learn and develop transversal and sustainable development skills that include employability. We are training you so that you get employment. That's one. Adaptability. Are you able to adapt to the situation that you will find yourself in? Entrepreneurial skills. Are you able to set up something, sustain it, and see it develop? Learning to learn. It is important in life for you to be able to learn to learn. And it's also very important to learn to unlearn. Very key for the youth. There could be a habit that you've learned, a habit that you are in that may not be taking you to any place. It is important for you to unlearn it. Environmental protection, soft skills to prepare them for future jobs and enable them to cope with technological changes. In order to turn the challenge of youth bulge from disaster to dividend, TVET has been identified as a vital tool to empower the next generations with practical skills, technical know-how, attitudes for self and gainful employment, and many others that will be able to make you be relevant in your day-to-day life. TVET sector plays a critical role in enhancing Kenya's economic and social development. The sector is an enabler of the Big Four agenda and is poised to play a critical role in equipping over 5 million Kenyan youth with the relevant skills, know-how, attitudes for self-employment and gainful employment by the year 2022. There are many approaches we are giving to this. The approach of the Equity Group Foundation is one of them. And that's why we allowed this particular endeavor. It is to equip you with these skills and make you relevant. In TVET, there are also many other projects, many interventions. Last month, in June 20th, the president launched the MasterCard Foundation project. These are interventions that will be able to come in as well, so that each and every year, for the next 5 years, we are able to train 1 million youth. And Equity Group is a player in this, plus a KCB. So as we do this kind of thing, we are having you in mind to equip you with the relevant skills that will be able to enable you in life and be an entrepreneur, be employed, and also be able to do very many other things. Ladies and gentlemen, sessional paper number 14 of 2012 on reforming education and training proposed a raft of reforms in the TVET sector. These reforms led to the enactment of the TVET Act number 29 of 2013, which established the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authority, TVETA, the TVET Curriculum Development, Assessment and Certification Council, the Kenya National Qualifications Authority, and the TVET Funding Board. In TVET, we have a quality assurance organization called TVETA. That is what would assure quality in TVET, and they're up and running in their game. We have also established the CDAC, Curriculum Development, Assessment, and Certification Council, to be able to harness all. We want to move away from NEC exams. We'll be able to be conducting our own exams done by CDAC. That is happening. What they've done at the moment, they have been able to harness all the curricula, about 221 of various courses that are supposed to be done in our colleges. This is geared towards the curriculum, the competence-based education and training curriculum that I'll talk about a little bit later. So what we are doing is that we are preparing the stage to have you, and when we have you, we'll give you relevant industry required skills, so that once you are trained and you go out there, you don't go out there to tarmac. You don't go out there and find that the paper you are having or the skill you are having is not required in industry. That is the essence of the competence-based education and training curriculum. In line with the reforms in TVET, spearheaded by the Jubilee government, there are 3 technical universities in Kenya today. We have the Technical University of Kenya, which was formerly the Kenya Polytechnic, and the Technical University of Mombasa, formerly Mombasa Polytechnic, and Dedan Kimathi University of Science and Technology. Why do we have them? We have them because of CBET. To be able to actualize CBET, curriculum, competence-based education and training, we must be able to create clear pathways from the lowest course. You can start at artisan, then move all the way to university and get a doctoral degree. That is the thinking. So the scope is expanded. The pathways are there. The readiness is there. We are only waiting for you to come in and be able to seize these opportunities and better yourselves. Additionally, through the Jubilee administration in 2013, we began a program of at least ensuring that every constituency in Kenya has a technical vocational college. Before then, in 2013, there were only 72 institutions, TVET institutions countrywide. But with the inception of this program, we have been able to put up 161 new TVCs. We only left with about 57 to go. When we receive adequate funding, we'll be able to do this. And all these institutions have been equipped with the state-of-the-art training equipments, modern equipments, multi-million shilling equipment that is waiting for you to come in and seize the opportunity, get trained and well-trained so that you can be able to go into the labor market and be absorbed. This we learned when the standard gauge railway was being constructed. We could not be able, as a country, to raise the requisite skilled welders to be able to work on that project. We don't have them. The other day, you had the minister, Professor George Magoha, saying when he wanted to have a simple plumber from his home in Yala, he had to drive over 40 kilometers to Kisumu to get one. He called that stupidity. And I agree with him. It's true. Why? Because at a certain point in time as a country, we neglected and relegated TVET to the lower ranks, to believe that TVET is for people who are not able to make it and make it well academically. That is a lie, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lie. If you take the example of the Professor George Magoha, he's a full professor, medical professor, but he couldn't fix the water in his house. Simple plumbing, piping, what have you, and all that. He couldn't. With all his skill in surgery, he couldn't. That underscores the importance of TVET. And that is what, as a ministry and government, we want to harness. And we cannot do that unless you come in and be able to take these opportunities and run with them. Ladies and gentlemen, the government has also brought in the issue of capitation grants. Previously, training in TVET was very expensive. In fact, quite expensive than it was to train a child in university. And that explains why there was an upsurge for university education. The reason was the government was supporting basic education through free primary education, free day secondary education. It was also supporting university education through loans and what have you. I learned through the days of boom. Yes? You? Yeah, oh yes, Emily is reminding me you may not know what that means. When we went to college, university, we were being paid to learn. Yes. Once you qualify for university, you are paid to learn, and the money was called boom. And let me tell you, it was real boom. It used to boom people around. Oh yeah, sure. Thank you, Madam Emily. That was not enough. We were also being provided with free food. Oh, it was not called boom. Let me tell you once again, I'm not yet through. The food was not the type of food we had been used to in our homes. You know, some of us came from homes where you can take porridge, are you getting me? With the fried maize. And think that you are eating two different things and enjoy it. Are we together? Then we go to university, you have been given, it used to be 50-40, is that right? Something. 5,040 shillings. Those days, let me tell you, that was money. Yes. Equivalent to 50,000. You could do anything with it. You could educate your other brothers and sisters with it. You could buy whatever you want. You even marry. Yes. Yeah, some of us, we bought some things out of it. I built a house out of that. Assisted my brothers and sisters out of the same. And all that. Only that I didn't drink. That is true. Very true. I didn't drink. Hello? We'll discuss that. We'll discuss that. Now, what are we saying? With the reforms in TVET, the government has brought in capitation grants, whereby the capping of fees chargeable in TVET training has been brought to 56,420. Out of this money, Kenya shillings 30,000 is supposed to go to be given to you as capitation grant. The balance of 26,420 can be accessed by any trainee registered through CUPS, that is Kenya Universities, Kenya Universities, Colleges, Central Placement Services, as a loan, making and transforming TVET training in Kenya. It has made it much more easier, and that has resulted in an upsurge of enrollment in our TVET institutions. So we are moving. In as much as we want you to come in, we want you to come and take advantage of this and train and make yourselves relevant. We are saying we are also going to take care of you. And interventions like this by the Equity Group Foundation is a welcome intervention so that they can be able to take care of you and lessen the burden the government has in training the youth and preparing the youth for the future. Putting in mind and knowing that a country that has invested in its youth is a country that is on its pathway to prosperity. Why do I say that? At independence, you have heard it said, I was not there. I was born some 7 years after independence. But those years, Kenya's economy, we are told by history, was superior to the economy of Seoul, the Koreas, Malaysia, and such like. We are told the blueprints that was spearheading that economy in Kenya were blueprints that had put TVET training at the center. That's the time we had vibrant youth polytechnics. And we had a sizable number of trained youth in various skills and technologies. And that's why the economy was moving fast. But when we changed and lost the plot and went into other diverse trainings and perhaps overemphasized the acquisition of academic pursuits over skill pursuits, that is where we lost the plot. We are not reinventing the wheel. But what we are doing, we have identified where the rain started beating us. And that's where we are going. And that's the essence of your being here, so that we can move forward as a country. The promotion of TVET is one of the government's top development priorities because it provides pathway to the world of work parallel to the academic stream. TVET is expected to play a critical role in the social inclusivity and poverty alleviation through empowerment, resource allocation, promotion of entrepreneurial culture, skills development for self and gainful employment, and promotion of social inclusivity. For a long time, TVET has always been and still is a platform for entrepreneurs. Many of the successful entrepreneurs of today have emerged out of our successful trainees in various sectors of the economy, including manufacturing, blue economy, agro-processing, leather and textiles, universal health care, affordable housing, food security, and profitable land use. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever course you're going to take, whatever course you're going to be sponsored to take, I want to tell you this. Put your whole heart in it. Put everything you have in it, and you'll never go wrong. You will never go wrong. You will make an impact in it. You will be able to transform yourself. And when you look back, you will never even believe it's you. I want to tell you this. You have heard it said, and perhaps it's true. Many people who are moneyed and who have acquired their wealth in the rightful manner and well in this country, talk to them, you'll find they are TVET based. They have done something and done it much better. They have pursued a career. They have pursued a pathway and pursued to its fruitful conclusion with all their heart. Don't be the type of youth that tries this before even the testing time of God for you to find your resilience. You have already doubted yourself. You want to try another thing. God does not honor people who do not have a stand, people who are not persistent, people who are not able to take one line and follow it through and be able to keep it as their way of life. You may not be able to get it through. Get your line, pursue it and pursue it well and ask God for blessings, you'll never go wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to establish a strong and vibrant TVET, the Ministry of Education is implementing several reforms, including implementing competence-based education and training, CBET curriculum, implementing a trainee capitation program, I've talked about it, building capacity of entire TVET governance system to enhance efficiency and effectiveness, and establishing linkages and partnerships between the productive sector and they can tell us what skills do they need, so that we don't just train you, we train you according to the relevant skills the industry requires. Once you are through, you are absorbed. We don't want to train you for the sake. That is not our business. We want to train you for placements. We want to train you to be able to start your own way out and pursue it and succeed. We want to equip you with relevant skills. We don't just want to give you theory. No. We want hands-on. So that most of the time of the training, you are doing practical work and less of theory. There was a story, Madam Emily, that was going around the social media sometime of a plane that was made, and a number of professors got in and other passengers. Then the pilot took to the address system and said, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to take off to our destination. And if you have ever boarded a plane, they'll tell you the type of plane. So he said, this plane is this and that. It is the plane that was manufactured by the students of a certain university. And therefore, be seated, be calm as we take off. Once he finished that statement, it is said that those professors of that particular university started running out of the plane, and all others running out of the plane. Then there was just one old, gray, bearded professor who sat calm, not moving, no emotion. And somebody asked him, why? He said, if it is true that this plane was made by our own students whom we trained, then it wouldn't even take off. It wouldn't even take off. You can see, he was so sure that whatever they gave them cannot make even the engines do what? Run. So the plane can't take off. So he is not at any risk. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving away from such kind of training. We are coming to a training that we need to equip you with the skills necessary. Hands-on. That if you put your hand on anything and make it, it is able to function and function well. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, in order to sensitize and promote holistic approach to skills development, the government is implementing curriculum reforms that are aimed at continuous and seamless pathways of learning. Continuous and seamless pathways of learning. Starting with the preschool and the primary education that adequately prepares young people for secondary and higher education, and eventually coming into vocational training, which will be able to give you the career pathways that you have always been yearning for. This endeavor will be able to help you be able to enter into the labor market, be the controller of the information that you have, be innovative, be able to take control of your environment, be able to control and even direct your destiny, and above all, enhance your livelihood. As I finish, ladies and gentlemen, my gratitude goes to the Equity Group Foundation that has been able to do this great work. And let me tell you, you may not know, Madam Emily, Equity Group has done a great deal for this country. I happened to start working at a time when some banks chased us as their customers. I'll not name. But if you are old enough, like my age, you'll understand. My gross salary could not match what they wanted as, it's called what? Minimum balance. Ya kuweka kitabu. You don't touch that. My gross. I hope you understand. Before I come to net, before deductions, gross salary could not match the minimum balance they wanted for you to be a member of those banks. We were literally chased away from those accounts. Literally. But I want to thank God. I want to thank God for the Equity Group. They have been able to liberalize banking in this country. They have done a lot. They are the first bank in this country that welcomed Mama Mboga and told Mama Mboga, you can come with your 20 shillings and operate an account. That is great. That was the first one. Even banking hours. If you're old enough, you know when it was being opened and when it was being closed. The first bank to spearhead the reforms we have is Equity Bank. Yes. I don't know if there's any other bank that has such a program, Wings to Fly. I'm a student of history. I don't know. What am I saying? May God bless Equity Bank, Equity Group. May God bless you, the 487 Wings to Fly alumni present here. May God see you through in your aspirations. May you seize this opportunity and better yourself. And as you continue to go through this workshop, may you pay keen attention. And if there's any question that you need to ask, don't shy from asking. If there's any information you need to know, information. To Kenya. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow, wow. That's very